Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine being completely washed up at 24, working a dead-end job at a convenience store, and just totally drowning your sorrows in the pouring rain. You're absolutely consumed by one single regret, and that's giving up on your childhood dream of becoming a professional soccer player. Now, imagine a bolt of lightning literally strikes you dead. But instead of the afterlife, you wake up in this surreal, demonic space with a second chance. Today, we are exploring an insane, cinematic journey of a failed adult who regresses in time to become a soccer prodigy. And look, this isn't just a story about playing a sport, okay? It is a calculated, ruthless, RPG-style conquest of the entire soccer world.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. The major catalyst for this entire journey happens right after that fatal lightning strike. Our protagonist, Ho-young, suddenly finds himself face-to-face with Mammon, the demon of greed. And Mammon makes him this incredibly sinister but honestly irresistible offer. Ho-young can regress back in time, up to 23 years actually. But here's the catch. For every year he goes back, he sacrifices a year of his total lifespan. But wait, that's not all. The Demon of Greed grants him a truly terrifying unique ability. He gets the power to literally steal the innate talents of other people. Right? Crazy? Ho-young accepts the deal without even blinking. He ruthlessly trades away 14 years of his life in an instant, just to jump back to when he was exactly 10 years old.
The contrast we see right after his regression is just so incredibly stark. On one side, we have the memories of the 24-year-old failure, a guy who routinely got bullied right off the ball and eventually just quit the sport entirely because he lacked natural ability. But on the other side, we have his brand new reality. He's a 10-year-old boy, but he's armed with the tactical mind, the spatial awareness, and frankly, the sheer desperation of a 24-year-old adult. He's literally returned to the year 2002, which is the golden era of Korean soccer, and he's completely equipped with the mental software of a seasoned veteran just trapped in a child's body.
All right, Section 1, Rebirth of a Prodigy. So, here is the massive catch to his new demonic power. Ho-young's own innate talent is absolute zero. He's got nothing. Instead, what he gets are these video game-like status windows that hover over other people, basically displaying their unique skills and their ranks. And to steal those skills, he has to complete these grueling, hyper-specific quests that are perfectly tailored to his target. He immediately puts this whole system to the test against Junho. Now, Junho is his arrogant childhood rival who originally bullied him out of the sport entirely. Looking at Junho's status window, Ho-young sees the football prodigy rank B talent. I mean, can you imagine having to endure 60 full minutes of your childhood bully just to steal a skill? But, setting his adult pride completely aside, Ho-young strategically manipulates this arrogant kid into playing a one-on-one match for a whole hour. He takes all the verbal abuse, fulfills the system's condition, and successfully copies his very first talent. Just like that, the playing field is instantly leveled.
Moving on to Section 2, Climbing the Elite Ranks.
So, with a rank B prodigy talent now safely locked into a system, Ho-young really needs a stage to accelerate his growth. He decides to join Fly Shoot Dory, which is this national youth soccer TV program. During the televised auditions, his adult-level tactical mind, all mixed together with his shiny new prodigy talent, makes him an absolute anomaly. Like, he leaves the scouts completely speechless. This perfectly sets up a highly anticipated broadcasted match against the elite Chaboom Academy. And let me tell you, Chaboom is the undisputed Goliath of Korean youth soccer. Everyone pretty much expects the TV kids to get totally crushed. But instead, Ho-young puts on a literal one-man masterclass. He intercepts passes, he outmaneuvers entire defensive lines, and he single-handedly scores all 5 goals for his team. Now, even though his team ultimately loses the game, mostly due to the massive skill gap of his teammates, his absolute domination really catches the eye of the legendary Chaboom Academy coach, and that actually secures him a spot as a special elite student.
But, Ho-young isn't satisfied with just beating up on kids. While training at Chaboom, he bumps into an active, real-world pro player named Cha Du-ri. Ho-young glances at his status window and spots a rank U, meaning unique, speed talent. Guys, this is an unprecedented tier, but the conditions to get it are brutal. He has to play together with Cha Du-ri for 500 minutes and do leg exercises with him for another 500 minutes. Imagine having the guts as a 10-year-old to just walk right up to a famous pro athlete and demand to train with them purely to steal their stats. Leveraging his knowledge of the future and, honestly, some serious networking charisma, Ho-young boldly talks his way into a daily training routine with the pro. He totally grinds out those hours, and he successfully steals top-tier, world-class speed to massively level up his physical capabilities.
Armed with this new unique rank speed, Hoyoung is violently thrust onto the global stage at the U13 World Cup. The tournament becomes this crazy showcase of his rapid ascent. I mean, he completely destroys the Polish national youth team by scoring a hat trick and orchestrating these picture-perfect assists. He then goes on to demolish Japan, specifically targeting their star player, Shinji, just to humiliate him and snag his delicate ball touch talent.
Wow.
But his massive win streak eventually comes to a screeching halt against Germany. These massive, physically imposing German players form an actual literal wall on the field, which proves to Hoyoung that tactics and speed just aren't enough when you're dealing with sheer physical dominance. He realizes right then and there that he desperately needs to evolve.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is Section 3, Stealing from Future Legends.
Through his TV connections, Hoyoung actually manages to secure a friendly match against the youth squad of Brazil's Sao Paulo FC. And listen, this isn't just any team. This is literally the breeding ground for the absolute titans of the sport. Looking across the field, he spots two names that send absolute chills down his spine: Douglas Costa and Casemiro. In the real world, as we know, these two grow up to be multi-million-dollar superstars. But right now, to Hoyoung's system, they are basically walking treasure chests. Costa possesses this elite explosive speed, while Casemiro holds incredibly rare defensive interception and blocking talents. So the stakes for this match are astronomically high. Hoyoung doesn't just want to win here. He needs to fulfill the hyper-specific conditions to steal these future legends' abilities right out from under them.
During the actual match, Douglas Costa relies heavily on his signature blinding speed, obviously assuming he's just going to breeze right past the Korean defense. Instead, Hoyoung intentionally drops back and he starts aggressively marking Costa. Using his adult intellect to literally predict Costa's every movement, Hoyoung completely shuts him down. And here is where the sheer disrespect peaks, okay? He actually taunts Costa in English, declaring, "I don't speak Portuguese, but you won't score today." He leaves the future superstar deeply humiliated. And then, just moments later, Hoyoung takes the ball, uses his stolen unique speed to blow right past Casemiro's elite defense, scores a goal, and successfully steals Casemiro's football prodigy and interception talents mid-game. It's wild.
All right, bringing us to Section 4, taking on Brazil.
Unsurprisingly, his spectacular performance against the Brazilian Giants definitely doesn't go unnoticed. The head coach of Sao Paulo's youth division is so captivated by Hoyoung's explosive acceleration that he personally invites him to train in Brazil. So, by January 2003, Hoyoung lands in the absolute holy land of soccer. But before he can conquer the pitch, he's got to conquer the language barrier. Living in a boarding house, he meets his roommate, Monica. She's a young, rhythmic gymnast with a mixed Brazilian, Russian, Spanish heritage. Hoyoung peeks at her stats and realizes she has the innate sense of language and graceful flexibility talents. The system's conditions for these: speak foreign languages with her for 100 hours, pass an advanced language exam, and stretch together for 300 minutes. Hilariously, Hoyoung just turns his daily life into an RPG grind. He genuinely befriends Monica specifically to exploit the system and literally steal her bilingual brain and her gymnast flexibility.
Thanks to these newly stolen language skills, plus his already insanely stacked soccer stats, Hoyoung absolutely destroys his academy evaluations. I mean, he navigates the Portuguese written exams with total ease and completely dominates the training pitch. He ends up securing a near-perfect evaluation score of 9.33 out of 10. This flawless performance pretty much forces the management's hand, and he earns a highly coveted, lucrative youth contract with Sao Paulo FC's Sub-13 squad that officially cements his status as a professional prospect.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how crazy his build has become. By the time he actually enters the Brazilian Youth League, his RPG loadout is, frankly, terrifying. He has upgraded his football prodigy talent to a B+2, he's got Chaduri's rank you fast legs, Casemiro's precise interceptions, Douglas Costa's explosive charge, and a newly leveled up C+ mid-range shot. He is basically a perfectly optimized hybrid of offense and defense, and he uses this ridiculous loadout to absolutely terrorize the local Brazilian league, scoring an insane 13 goals in just 8 games.
Which brings us to Section 5, the ultimate final boss.
So his sheer dominance propels São Paulo straight into the championship playoffs. They breeze through the semifinals, securing a 1-0 victory that is entirely thanks to Hoyoung's solo dribbling masterclass. But the celebration is cut way short as they realize exactly who is waiting for them in the grand finals. They are facing their fierce, historical rivals, Corinthians. And Corinthians is harboring an absolute monster. Introduce the ultimate challenge for our regressor, a 13-year-old Alexander Pato.
Now in the soccer world, Pato is known as an unbeatable born genius, a player who will eventually go on to lead AC Milan. Ho-young looks at Pato's stats and is met with a terrifying reality. Pato boasts a football genius rank of A-, fast legs at A+, and a C+ in goal scoring. This is a kid who has already scored 18 goals in just 14 matches. He is the prime candidate for the tournament's Ballon d'Or and represents a literal wall of pure, unadulterated natural talent.
Coach Carlo knows that trying to match Pato's speed with a standard defense is just totally suicide, so he implements a brilliant tactical shift specifically for this final match. He changes the team's entire formation to a 4-1-4-1. The strategy here is to pull Ho-young entirely out of his natural striker position. Instead, Ho-young is placed right in the center of the midfield. He's given the ultimate playmaker role, tasked with acting as the vital link between defense and attack, essentially creating a suffocating trap designed to isolate and neutralize Pato's explosive runs. The suspense here is just unreal. Everything completely hinges on this single strategic gamble.
As the teams march onto the pitch and the crowd roars, Ho-young locks eyes with the Brazilian prodigy. He has the mind of a desperate 24-year-old adult and a heavily curated deck of stolen world-class talents. But standing right across from him is a player blessed by the soccer gods themselves. So, as the referee raises the whistle to his lips, we are left with one massive burning question. When artificial, stolen talent clashes against a true, born genius, who actually comes out on top? You definitely won't want to miss what happens next. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.